Well, what is going to go down in Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars? Everybody's been clamoring to know what the future of the MCU looks like. With all these combined variants in one universe, the stories could be completely up in the air. Now we have a new report on both Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, which does seem to share some plot details, but let's break down how certain they feel. Well, back when the news broke that Jeff Loveness was going to write Kang Dynasty, well, it seemed to make a lot of sense. Now, he had never worked on projects that large, but he was a big part of the multiverse world of Rick and Morty and already had written Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, for Avengers Secret Wars, Michael Waldron was lined up, another Rick and Morty guy, and he had delivered not just Loki, which was a huge hit, but Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which, although had its challenges, was a decent movie. Now, since then, we've gotten multiple reports that both Waldron and Loveness are no longer working on this particular project. And I think the scoop we got earlier today pretty much explains why, because I think if this is where Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars is going, we could be in a bit of trouble. Now, this comes via Scooper, My Time to Shine Hello. And like we always like to say, it's not from Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, or anybody actually working on a project. And he is an anonymous Scooper, so we want to take it with a grain of salt. Now, what he is reporting is pretty interesting and seems a bit of a repeat of Infinity War and Endgame. Now, according to My Time to Shine Hello, Kang Dynasty will feature the new Earth 616 Avengers taking on the Council of Kangs. And just like with Thanos, they will ultimately lose. This obviously sets the stage for Secret Wars, and Secret Wars, according to My Time to Shine, will see the TVA send a team of multiversal Avengers that they have secretly recruited, which will be led by some big names, including Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. Now, their mission will be to save the 616 Avengers and defeat the Council of Kangs once and for all. Now, I have to say, all of this sounds, well, a bit convoluted to me. First and foremost, the similarities to Infinity War and Endgame are really, really close. Now, I'm sure Kang Dynasty will leave us on some kind of cliffhanger to set up Secret Wars, but I seriously doubt we're going to see a basic repeat of those films. Now, as for Secret Wars, well, I do love the idea of these multiverse Avengers coming together, and there's no doubt throwing Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman together on screen, well, that would be awesome. Layer on Ryan Reynolds and maybe even Robert Downey Jr., and you definitely have the makings of a massive, massive hit. But I actually do believe that this is probably the Loveness and Waldron version of these two movies, so we want to be really, really careful. Kang Dynasty is set for May the 1st, 2026, and Secret Wars May 7th, 2027, almost 4 years from today. Given the fact that we've heard new writers are coming in with the writer's strike just ending, well, I really do believe that this scoop is more than likely based on those original storylines, and we will see some massive changes to what's already been reported. Now, could the Avengers still lose to the Council of Kangs? Well, that's distinctly possible, but there's several movies coming out in between that would have to fill the gap, and I do believe that would be somewhat problematic if we're not leading directly into Secret Wars. Remember, Infinity War and Endgame were separated by Captain Marvel, which was a period piece set about 30 years previous. This is Marvel's big seminal event, and I have to think they're going to be really careful here and not to leave fans disappointed, so whatever is stuffed in between will have to make a lot of sense, and I absolutely believe they will want to avoid the comparisons with their previous two Avengers projects. Quite honestly, I do think Marvel is going to lean heavily on nostalgia, and we very well could see Tobey Maguire on screen with Jackman, who's already returned, and Ryan Reynolds, but we want to be fairly calm here because I really don't suspect Marvel will backburner and sideline their whole universe of characters, only to grab a brand new set of multiversal Avengers, maybe a lot based on Fox characters, and insert them into the story. They might be leaning heavily on What If, and maybe those variants that we've met in those 2 seasons of What If show up in this film, but all in all, we want to be really careful because this is just so early in the development stages, it's really hard to know what to believe. Let's file this one away as a maybe, keep a close look, and hopefully we'll get some official news for Secret Wars sometime soon.